What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the You Damn Right podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited for this episode. I got a very special guest with me, my co-host for today. Really my official guest, because I'm going to be asking you a whole bunch of questions. I get to pick your brain a little bit. I got Gereme with me.
Hi. I'm not that special, but thanks.
Do not start. You are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming onto this podcast.
Thank you.
Is this your first time doing a podcast?
You are kind of popping my podcast cherry. Yeah, I've been in like a studio audience for one, but I've never been like on the other side of the mic. So this is like really daunting and stressful. So hi.
Okay. So that makes me a lot more excited that this is like your first time. And this is my first time because I'm gonna be like interviewing you a little bit.
There's nobody else that I would rather be doing this with than you. So
I appreciate that so much. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in today for this podcast episode. If you are a listener, I appreciate you. But make sure you're getting the full experience by coming onto the YouTube channel. You Damn Right Entertainment is the channel name, YDR ENT. Please come subscribe, like, comment on this video. Before we get into it, I do want you to go ahead and promote what you got going on.
Hi, I'm Gereme with a G, 3 E's, no Y. And I'm a singer, songwriter. I'm a dancer. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. And today's a great day because I released one of my favorite songs off my project this week. It's called Fingerprints. It's on all streaming platforms. So yeah.
Are you like me when you release something, you get nervous every time? I probably already know the answer, but like how was the experience for you like when you release something new?
So first of all, I'm very emotional about everything. Even like when my friends do things, like my friend Steph, he's like kind of like flourishing in his modeling career. So like literally anytime we talk about it, I cry. And so literally every song that I put out, like the night before up until like the end of the day of, I cry like the entire day. So like when people are like reposting it and like telling me that they like it, and like it's been stuff like I'm kind of scared if people are gonna like it. Like as soon as people tell me they do, I'm like, ugh. So yeah, those crying eyes that I put over all the reposts, that's for real. Like that's me like blubbering, crying like the whole time. But I don't know. I'm also like I feel relieved.
Okay.
Also, because it feels like because a lot of the stuff I've been like working on for the past couple of years. So like a lot of it is finally seeing the light of day.
Right.
And it's something I've been like meticulously like working on. So I'm just like super relieved like that weight is off of me now and I can finally like talk about it and perform it and stuff. So that
is exciting. And I know like I've been knowing you for a lot of years now.
Forever.
And like I can tell like this, I don't know, this year in particular just feels really special for like a lot of what I've been seeing you do and release and everything. So I'm really proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Yes, I mean it's definitely been a bit of a resurgence. I mean, and I think you kind of know that too. I mean, I've been telling a lot of people that I'm close with, you know, that I feel like, especially over the past year, especially coming out of the pandemic, I feel like it's been really important for all of us to just reinvent what our endeavors look and what our reality looks like within those endeavors. So I definitely feel like I've been tested over the last year. So it feels really good. I keep telling people like last year was my artist development. Like I've been doing this my whole life, but to finally like really be doing it full fledged and, you know, finally be able to like release all of the stuff that I've been working on for so long, it's definitely a different stance for me now.
Right. Okay. I got so many questions. I'm so excited to like pick your brain a little bit because I never got to do this before. But okay, first of all, like you said, you've been doing this a long time. So first of all, when did you start like getting into music?
I've honestly like it's been the only thing that I've gravitated to like my whole life. I grew up in a pretty Christian home, so my dad really only allowed like gospel music in the house, but other than that, like the only thing that that I could listen to, because I'm the youngest, the only thing that I could listen to was anything that he listened to, and luckily he was listening to Michael and the Jackson 5, James Brown, Prince, all of the greats that I've like really like looked up to. So I feel like I kind of lucked out a little bit with that. So it's always been something that I gravitated to. I don't think that I was like brave enough to admit like this is really, really what I wanted to do until I got like much older, like in my teens.
Okay.
I started out like writing. Writing has always been like the catalyst for all of the things that I'm doing now. But I went to Northwest School of the Arts here in Charlotte, and my focus was music, and then my minor was dance. And so from there I graduated, and I did like different auditions. I auditioned for, I'm about to tell my age. I auditioned for the Beyonce Experience. I didn't make it. I auditioned for Tiana Taylor. And other people didn't make those. And so I feel like God was just kind of telling me like I'm supposed to be at the forefront of all of this. But but I've been doing it all of my life, really. So
right. There's so much I want to say, but I'm like, okay, all right. First of all, so talk about your writing.
Okay.
Because y'all, this is real talent over here, okay?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm a fan.
Thank you.
I am a fan because I listen to all your music. I am.
Thank you.
And okay, your process of like writing, right? Mm-hmm. Are you somebody who has to like listen to like a beat, or you can like just start writing like from scratch and everything, and you can put it onto like a track later on?
My my process can be a bit unorthodox at times.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of people from the releases that I have made, like everything starts out very super symbolic and simplistic. But it depends. A lot of times I will already kind of have an idea written out, and I'm not really big on like going into the studio and like vibing out. Like I'm very meticulous, and I take lyricism very seriously. So, a lot of times it could be different. It just depends on what's driven out of me from the music or from the idea. And then sometimes a lot of times now what happens is I try to write and arrange all of my music just either acoustically or just based off of melodies that I kind of have in my head. And then I'll like go into the studio, do mock vocals, a cappella, and then I'll kind of send the ideas to my producers and just kind of tell them like what, and it sounds a mess. Like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, like I kind of like want this drum pattern from like this Beyonce song, or like I kind of want this synth from this Rihanna song. Like, so it's different. It's very unorthodox. And like, luckily I've like been connected to people who get it.
Right.
But a lot of times it literally just starts from words. Because I'm just very big on that.
Because let me just say this. I'm a writer, so I can script write and stuff like that, write stories and stuff. I've tried to write music before, and it's not easy. It is not an easy thing. And it's like my brain doesn't compute to that. I probably can write a hook, but that's about it. When I'm editing stuff, so like when I've edited in the past for like projects and stuff, I've done 3 music videos, and I can hear something, like I'll hear a song and like I can see the picture like in front of me. So that's like how my brain kind of works. I cannot put like a song out or like write a whole like verse of anything or anything like that. So that's like, I don't know, that is it's so interesting to me, like to hear like what the process is for you, like, you know, to get started or to do it.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, like I said, I'm very intense about it. Like I don't like a lazily like written song. Okay. And so like the song that I put out this week, like that's probably the fastest I've ever written a song, just because I had an idea of the ambiance around the song. Like, it's very Afrobeat, so I kind of wanted to kind of take my own like spin on patois. Right. And like I love how like Afrobeats and like, you know, reggae artists, how they use like very interesting like metaphors and shit. So yeah. Can I curse on here? Oh my God.
Yes, you can curse on here. Yes.
I love how they use like metaphors and shit. And so I don't know. It really depends. Like, for me, it comes easy, but I guess I'm not one of those people where like, you know, some artists like Money Long, like she can sit in the studio and write like 5 songs. Like for me, it's a little different, because I feel like if I'm under the pressure of like getting a record out at a certain amount of time, I feel like it's not really my best work. And I'm very critical of my work, and I'm very critical of myself. So I'm working on that. But but yeah, it comes easy, and sometimes like some songs have taken me a year to write and to be okay with releasing. So it depends. Sometimes it comes easy, sometimes it doesn't.
Right. As a creative, that's interesting. I was gonna ask, as far as like your confidence in your work, does it for you like releasing or creating, like has it gotten easier as far as like with your confidence, or does, as you get older or do it more, does you get like even more like put a shield around it? I know for me, speaking for myself, it's like I like through the pandemic took a break from like doing what I enjoy doing, and now to be kind of stepping back into that, I'm like have like a big shield around it. Like I don't know if I want to like put this out, or like I don't know if I'm ready or stuff like that. I have to like really push myself extra hard than I ever had to in the past.
I definitely feel like in this season of just my creativity, like I said, this project has been something that I've been conceptualizing for a really, really long time. So, I mean, it just really depends. But, I mean, overall, I can be a bit humble to a detriment. And so even just with performing and, you know, being out in front of people, like it's very weird for me. Like a lot of people don't understand that complex of like being a really, really shy person. So, and being an entertainer. So
definitely.
It depends. Like I'm definitely the most proud of what I've created so far. And even after the year that I've had, like I went through a period, I got really, really sick last year and was like stuck in the house for like a month and like literally wrote a whole album that I'm like ready to like record now, but I'm trying to like revel in what I've created now. So I'm like in different facets. Yes, I am. I think that my confidence is reinventing itself, but I think my humility will always kind of be rooted in all of that. So it depends. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, this is trash. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. And sometimes you just got to kind of check out of that shit and just really think about how happy it makes you, and
just to know that you're good at doing it too. Like you know that you're good at what you do. Yes, but you know that you're good at it, so you like you know like you can do it. You know. I
mean, I definitely. I've been telling people now I allow the universe and I allow God to talk my shit for me. So I do feel like I'm called to do it, and you know it brings out the best qualities of me out of me when I'm just in the thick of it. Like I always tell people all the time, like, you know, I'm ready to get to that place. And I'm sure you are, like, where this could just be my life every day.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so, and I know that comes with time, but I mean, but I definitely feel called to it. It scares me less now.
Okay. That's good to know. All right, real quick, I do want to talk about Fingerprints.
Okay.
Because I have added it to my like workout playlist. I've been listening to it. It is definitely my favorite right now. And in constant rotation. You said that you wrote it quick. How quick did you write it?
I literally think I wrote it in maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't remember. I just remember I was at home one night and I just kept the first line of the first verse. I just kept saying that over, and I'm like, I want to build on that. That's crazy. And so to me, when I started kind of writing out all of it, I was like, this kind of sounds like it needs to be super rhythmic, and I don't know. It feels like it almost feels like a chant. Like most of my songs are usually like that. Like a lot of my songs kind of like dip and dabble in a lot of spirituality. And so to me, I wanted it to kind of sound like this rain dance, and I wanted it to be something that kind of just conjured something out of people. So I literally wrote it in like 20 minutes. The hook is like super repetitive, which is interesting. First, to be honest with you, I recorded the song about a year and a half ago. I couldn't stand it for about an entire until we put choreography to it. Once I shot the visual, I was like, okay, like I'm in love with it now. And so that's what kind of drove me to feel like, yeah, this is one of the ones. Like, so I literally wrote it like in the middle of the night one night, couldn't sleep, and I like called my producer. I was like, hey, can I come in tomorrow? Like, I called out of work. I called out of work to go to the studio, and I recorded it. And I think that was the thing. Like, I think my confidence in the song was kind of thwarted a bit because it came so easy. Like a lot of the other songs, like people who are kind of familiar with my catalog know that I'm very big on like a lot of harmonies and a lot of stacks and a bunch of stuff. But this one like literally was super easy. Like literally like the cheapest studio session I think I have like under my belt. Like I was in and out of the studio in like 45 minutes.
Right. That's funny that you said it took like you doing choreography and shooting the visual. I'm such a visual person, obviously, for obvious reasons. And like I'm the type of person, like, if I could have my way, every artist would have at least like one visual album because I just love music videos. I love visuals. And, you know, so it's just funny that you said that, that it took that for you to like, I guess, appreciate the song more. Because I'm sure it was just fine as it was. But are there any other like songs that you've had that moment with where it took maybe just for it to sit a little longer, or, you know, to marinate a little bit for you to be like, okay, I think I'm actually okay with this?
Not you getting the exclusive. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this. Anyway, so I do have a song on my project that I don't know. I think I was just in the right place at the right time. Shout out to Willpower and Bandwidth Productions in Atlanta. He had a creative kind of like kickback situation. And long story short, I played some songs that I had recorded so far for a bunch of producers and songwriters and DJs and all this stuff. And so like everybody was like really, really in love with my stuff, and he was really, really impressed. And so my manager Miranda, shout out to Miranda Pugh, she being the Cancer that she is, she very aggressively managed to get me a session with him the very, very next day. And I woke up the next day with a sinus infection, super congested, super hoarse. That song actually I wrote very, very quickly, but I kind of wrote it under pressure. And so for a while, it was kind of hard for me to accept the song because I was really, really sick when I recorded it. And I'm very, very like meticulous about my vocals. Like I hate like not sounding on, you know what I'm saying? And so, but when I listen to that song, like I think about just how I was able to work under pressure that I never thought that I would be faced with. Because any other time I think I would have like fumbled that. Right. But it was like an opportunity for me to connect with someone that's really, really respectable in the industry. And, I don't know. I was just really, really proud of myself. So I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to keep it on the project. And eventually, like, I was just like, no, I feel like I should just keep that as a keepsake for myself to just show myself like what I'm capable of. So yeah.
Well, thank you for the exclusive. So happy I got to get that. But I was gonna ask, like, as far as like, you know, basically what the future holds for what you want to do or what you are interested in doing. Just, you know, whatever you're able to share right now. But like what can your like listeners and supporters expect to see from you maybe before the year's over?
Well, I mean, right now the goal is just to win people over. I'm definitely trying to build my audience right now, which is just realistic right now. So, I mean, of course, I'm going to be releasing more music. I want to perform more. Like, that's really, really like what I've been looking forward to doing. And just kind of like being able to like show the world like the type of show that I've been, you know, crafting, and I've been, of course, like concepting in my mind for so long. So I'm just like, I'm also glad like now we're in a day and age where like there's a reverence for performance, you know, and artists are going back to like actually doing like full production. You know what I mean? Definitely. So I feel like that was lost on us for a really long time, and we all just relied on beat to do that for us. And so I'm glad that there's like a resurgence of that, you know. So that's really it. I'm just trying to make myself more visible, and I'm just trying to just connect with more people. Trying to figure out like what my audience is, because that was something that was really scary for me too. It was like once I created all this music, I was just like, what does the person who would listen to this look like when I look out in the audience? So I'm just trying to create the kind of music that can reach a mass of people. And I don't know. I'm just trying to just be the MVP in the music game right now. So.
Period. Now, me and you did get a chance. You did I got to shoot you for something very special. I can't talk about it yet. But it was a lot of fun. And
it was a lot of fun. Can I tell you something? That little sneak peek you sent me, that's literally the first picture from a photo shoot that I have actually liked of myself in such a long time. So I'm like really grateful. Like I literally was so stoked when you showed me that.
Really?
Yeah.
So. It was like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the one. And I have to like show him. And like I didn't even do anything to it. I was like,
I know. It was amazing. You're so dope. You know that?
Thank you.
Y'all look at the sign. Like, you understand? Like this is like that's what I'm talking about.
But I was gonna say is like when I was able to shoot you or whatever, you was like, this is like one of your one of the things you hate doing the most, I guess, is photo shoots and stuff. I don't know why, because you're such, a natural at it. But but as a creative and like doing what you do, I was gonna ask like what is like the most like for you, like realistically, like what is the part of it that you really do hate the most of it, and what is it like you like doing the best? Like is like performing like your favorite part of like this whole thing that you're doing, like you're sharing when you share with the world.
Oof. Let my manager tell it. It's a bunch of things. Well, I think my least favorite is probably the most necessary component to all of this. And I mean, it's different for every artist,
right?
Depending on the trajectory of what you're trying to reach. When you say like, I want to be an entity in the industry, and I'm sure like this is all an investment. Like this is not easy.
Absolutely.
It's not something where you just pick up. Sometimes it's just that simple as just picking up the camera phone, and then other times it requires a lot of like legwork and a lot of logistics. And when I sit and I really, really think about like how I want to define myself as an artist and how I want to be received as an artist, there's a lot that goes into that I don't think a lot of people think about. And I mean, the other thing is just like I'm very neglectful with my phone. So social media has been a bit of it's been a task for me. So,
no, for a lot of artists, that is definitely the biggest challenge. At least from what I've heard, is like,
I mean, because you're so exposed.
Yes.
And I guess I've always been very evasive in the way of just not making myself available for a lot of people's opinions, because I am very sensitive to those things in a way that I have to check out. Like I literally have to turn off that part of myself to get feedback, or for people to give me their opinions, or say like, this would have been cool if you would have did this. And like, okay, but I just like sang my face off on this song.
Yes.
And like now I gotta go back in the studio, and like, that's crazy. But that's been a task, but of course it's very necessary when I say I want to do this to this level, so that's definitely been a transition for me, but a lot of people are telling me I'm doing better, so
I'm sure you're doing just fine.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing my best.
That's all you can do, just do your best. That's really all it comes down to. As I think, especially when you're in a creative space, I think we are our biggest critic, especially, and we can beat ourselves up. Like it's nothing. When I put out something and I call my friends the same way, and I'm telling them like I'm so anxious, I'm so nervous, and shout out to Corey, she used to cuss me out the other day. It was like, bitch, why the fuck are you nervous? You've been doing this for over a decade now, and it's like I know, but it's like it's just to share like something that you are passionate about. Even if you do feel like you're good at it, it's like just because you're passionate about it, it's like I don't want nobody to like to receive this the wrong way.
Exactly.
I don't want anybody to think they're going to check me on something where I'm like, trust me, I already had that conversation with myself. You don't have to do that.
The other mindfuck with that is almost like generalizing like this thing that like you've put all of your thought and like effort and emotion into, and like computing it to data.
Yes.
And so like even like my manager, like she's always like, we got to pay attention to like your streams and like all this stuff. And I have made it my business not to pay too much attention to numbers.
Right.
Because that part can just be daunting, and I feel like it just takes all the fun out of it. So
yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's the other part of it that I have to like really bob and weave with. But yes, it's also just the fear of like putting this thing out, and it's like it's really scary. That's why like even like a lot of people probably don't know, like the name of my project is Pure Filth, and a part of that was this duality between like me thinking like I really created this like really cool body of work that may like connect and resonate with a lot of different people, but on the other end, like some people could really say like, dude, this is like complete trash, like and so I have to be okay with that, because I really kind of put my best foot forward in a lot of it. But yes, that is a thing too. I think it's really just the fear of being exposed to all of that.
And I think for the most part, when you are I think it definitely shows when you are passionate about something. You know, I think that does always show through your work. So again, with being like your biggest critic and having that fear. But I said this on, I don't know if it's even going to be out yet or not, y'all, but I know I said this in one of my other episodes of this podcast. I said that it's important to kind of turn that fear around and use that as motivation, or use it, look at it as like, you know, excitement in a way. Like I feel this is fear, but I know it's excitement, you know, at the same time. Like I'm excited to share this. I'm excited to get people's feedback. If it's, you know, even constructive criticism, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, the type of creative I am, like I do appreciate that so that I can get better at it too. You know what I mean? And I too try not to pay too much attention to like the numbers and stuff, because I feel like that can like drive you crazy. Of being like, well, when my movie I did on my channel started getting all these damn views, like I was about to have a panic attack. So I was like, is somebody sharing this I don't know about? Like, what is happening?
Listen.
And it just, you know, it freaked me out, but it also excited me. And once I got the feedback, you know, I was like, okay, I can take a chill pill, and I can like keep putting my best foot forward and stuff, and you know, use this as not necessarily as like a learning experience, but just kind of like it feels like no matter how long you do it, it always feels like new to me. It always feels new. It never feels like I've been doing this for however long, or I'm used to, like, I never get used to it. You know what I mean?
I feel that the most when I'm like performing, which is weird. Even, I mean, you know, like me and my friends in Basic Instinct, we performed at Scorpios for so many years, and I used to get on their nerves because I would be so like literally like could not stand for like long amounts of time before we went on stage. Like I used to be so nervous. And it was just because I always wanted to be great. Like I always wanted to be like impressive every time people like laid their eyes on me.
Right.
And so it always just literally the fear never ever went away. To have performed in the same space for as long as we did, it never ever went away, ever. And to this day, like literally like performances like scare the shit out of me.
Right.
Like so bad, like to the point where like sometimes I become, the last couple of performances that I've had, like cry. Like after I got done with it, like boo crying. And like my best friend Steph, he's like, what is wrong with you? Like you really are not okay. So, but I don't know. I feel like that's also just the purity of like it always feeling like an adventure too.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm always, I guess, I don't know. I'm a bit of a masochist in that regard.
Speaking of friends, mentioning your friends, first of all, let me just say, I love seeing like how y'all support each other and how like, you know, how hard y'all write for each other. Yeah. And I know it's always been like that.
Yes.
Me and my friends are like that. So that's just something I relate to and I love to see, because I even have people who like, mention it to me, like they love seeing how I interact with my friends or how I show them love or support them, and vice versa, because they are having a problem with finding like real friends, either wherever they are or just where they are in their life or whatever. Like they don't have a friend group or just even just one friend, you know what I'm saying? For you, like with your support of your friends, like how much does that mean to you when you look over the years of how much you guys have been like writing for each other? And I know like how your relationship is, but like how has that been for you?
I mean, I constantly say all the time that I feel like, you know, people like say like, you know, God took time on me. Like I really do feel like God divinely like like picked out my support system.
Yes.
And I'm so lucky to have the group of friends that I have. Like people, like when people meet me, they're like, you have so many best friends. And I'm like, literally like, I know, like literally like I somehow just end up meeting like the best people on the planet. I don't know how it happens, but I'm just so supremely grateful. I mean, it's definitely been tested, which I think happens with real friendships.
Yes.
And you know, we're all subject to change, you know, which is something that has happened over the years. We've all grown exponentially. And I don't know. I mean, for me, it's always just, I don't know. I when I see my friends kind of relishing in the truest forms of who they are, it's so much more like celebratory for me. Being able, even when we're not performing together, to watch my friends perform or to watch Dee perform by herself, like it's so awesome because like it's different being up there with her and doing it, and then like stepping out into the audience and watching her do it, and just watching how she radiates amongst like a group of people. And even with Steph, like I told you, like he's been embarking on his modeling career this year, and he's just been taking the whole thing by storm. He just walked in New York Fashion Week this weekend. Yes. And so like, even like every time we would talk about it, like literally he would be like, Gereme, like you're more excited about this than I am. Like I would literally talk about it and I would just be so, because it's one thing when you sitting in the confines of just you and your friends and talking about the things that just make you excited, but to actually like watch them do it, you know, and then even like with you and your friends, like to watch them be so, you know, and so inclusive and willingly included in your craft and everything that you're doing. I just think that's so cool. And yes, I mean, it's hard to find friends like that. Like when you do find people like that who just have a reverence for you and who you truly are and how great you could be, you know, I think that that's really, really cool. So I'm just always like really grateful for that. Of all the things in my life, it's just the people that I'm connected with.
Yeah, I say the same thing. I feel like extremely blessed to have the friends that I have, because I'm like, I know it's not, you know, a common thing to come by, to have like a group of friends, or again, just that one friend that you can like, you know, count on, or one that is just behind you sharing everything, you know, you got going on. It's like, it's a great feeling to have that. And that's something that, again, like I love seeing, but I know I don't know if it's something about today, but it's like a lot of the friend groups I'm seeing today are not like genuine friend groups. They're more so like competing with each other, or, this is gonna sound shady, but maybe like pretending to be a part of like a reality show that does not exist, but everybody is wanting to live that Love and Hip Hop lifestyle of being like, you know, the main character, and these are all my supporting characters, and this, you know, and I've unfortunately have experienced that in the past, of being in a situation such as that I had to like excuse myself out of. So I wish that on to other people, it's like, please, like if you find a real friend, if it's just one, I don't care. It's like, I know it's been popular to be like, you know, you don't need anybody, I can do everything by myself, but to have somebody who like can truly like, you know, you can call somebody who you can be supportive of them as they are for you, is like, I feel like that's so important for somebody, you know, to have.
I mean, I think, and I guess I can just say this just from my own experience. I think one of the major contributors to that is the sense of contingency on what the weight of your friendship is built upon. And I often just feel like the best way, and I don't know, I'm just speaking this out into the universe, is that I think the best way to kind of weather that type of storm, especially with friendships, because friendships are sensitive, is that you have to remember what's important.
Right.
I think a lot of times, even when it comes down to confrontations, for me, the first thing I ask myself is, what is really important to me and to us?
Right.
And it should kind of operate that on other ends of the party. But, you know, if your success means that your friendship has to be a casualty of that, then, you know, you have to be okay with the result of that.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't get what they thought they were going to get when they choose one thing over the other.
Right.
I guess for me, my friends have always been who they were before and after I came into their life. You know what I mean? And so me being in your presence and your greatness should not, you know, impede on how much I love and care for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that contingency can cause a lot of things to spur out of control or things to kind of fizzle out. And that's okay. I think that's the other thing too, is like a lot of times you can walk away from situations amicably and it not be something that you're so jilted about because they didn't do what you thought they wanted you to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, you know, if the love and hip hop life is okay, I'm still going to be on the other end of this screen rooting you on. And I'm still going to be the same friend that you needed me to be before that. So I don't know. I just think that, you know, you're not entitled to be my friend just because you want to be a star. You know what I mean? So yes. I don't know. But
and for some people out there, I think it's important to hear like, it's okay. You have to accept that maybe every friendship is not going to last forever. You know, and it's important to, again, realize if you have somebody in your life that is a true friend, in my opinion, I feel like it's important to hold on to that, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of this stuff that is going on, it really does not matter. You know what I'm saying?
I had a talk with one of like my like childhood friends like months ago, and we were like super tight in high school, and like she's gone off, like she's like got kids and like she's married and stuff, and like, you know, life kind of like took us in different spectrums. And so I remember one time we had lunch one day and I said, I feel like, you know, I'm not the Uncle Gereme that I need to be to like your kids the way that I think we would have envisioned like when we were in high school. And I remember she said to me like, Gereme, like this friendship is not built off of like entitlement. I can't remember the word that she used, but it's like, that's not what makes us friends.
Right.
And so I really do feel like, this was like a year ago, but I really do feel like that really kind of changed my perception on like how my adult friendships are supposed to be, especially when life in general changes. Exactly. And how, like I said, all of us are subject to change. How do we weather that storm of change? You know, how do we grow from that? And how do we grow from that in a way that still keeps the purity of our friendship? So, you know, I mean, it happens, but it's just, I mean, but again, like what's important to you? It's important for you to have this really, really great friendship, even though your individual life is so different, you know? So it's just like, even like I was talking to Steph the other day and I'm like, what if I'm like off, like booked at Coachella and like, bitch, you got to walk in Milan, like, are you still gonna come like to the concert? And I'm like, but in that same sense, like I'm not gonna be mad. You out here getting that bag, and if I can come to Milan and like support you, you know what I mean? So, you know, you do the same thing that you would do that y'all would have done when y'all first became friends.
Exactly.
I don't know, but
yeah, and I think as I've gotten older, like certain things don't scare me as they used to when I was younger.
Like not that important to you.
Not important at all, or just like okay, like as an adult now, it's like having a friend that's talking about moving away to New York, and they're like, you know, I feel like a couple years ago they'd be like, oh, you're going to be so far away, like we're never going to speak again. Now, as like the age I'm in, I'm like, well, bitch, I will come see you whenever I can come see you, and we're still going to talk. We're still, you know, it's having that maturity. I feel like is important, and it's also
is also a thing. Sometimes you just have to be realistic. Like
yes.
I can't leave you bound to this idea of what I had for what our friendship was supposed to be at this point in our lives. You know what I mean? So I would have been the same way. I'd have been like, bestie, just make sure you get a blow up mattress, like so I can come crash. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time y'all performed together?
Yes.
And how was that? Like your very first performance?
Woo, baby. Woo. Let me tell you something. Hot topic. Save the day every time. The first time that I feel like, oh my God, I feel like we've been in a girl group for like forever because the thing is like the dynamic revolved so much. And I don't know how that sounds, but the dynamic of the group revolved so much. And then it got to a point where it was like, okay, like this works. And the first time that we all performed together, it was for a talent show at Scorpios. And I believe Dee and Angel, who was dancing with us at the time, shout out to Angel Paris. They have both won Entertainer of the Year, or Entertainer of the Year, or something to that extent. They have both won respective talent show, and so we wanted to do like a whole thing all together. And so we did Telephone by Beyonce and Lady Gaga. And that was the first time we danced together, like all like at that time I think it was like 6 of us. 6, yeah. And like we really like went through the trenches, like people don't know, like whatever we made from that show that night, we split 6 ways amongst all of us. And like sometimes that only got us a McChicken and a large sweet tea, and we would eat that thing with pride. But yeah, yes, I do remember the first time that we danced together. And I remember like that was like, even that, like looking back on that was such a testament of our friendship at that time. Because we went through a lot together and individually to like make that one thing that, you know, seemed so small to make that happen and to be able to accomplish a lot of the things that we have now. Yes, I will never ever forget those wonderful shows back in the day. Well, I appreciate you so much for being on here today.
I really, really, really appreciate it. That's all the time we got for today, y'all. But please come back on my podcast when your project is ready to drop.
Yes.
Because I do want to hear a lot more about it. I know there's not much you can talk about it right now, but I am excited to hear about it. I'm excited to see what else you're going to do.
Thank you.
Please tell people where they can follow you and find you again.
So you can follow me on all social media platforms at _GEREM3. And you can also find all of my music on all streaming platforms, and
all of them.
And the Fingerprints visual is coming out soon, so I can't wait for you guys to see that.
Excited. You know I love a visual, and I still have to do a music video for you too.
Because when
I asked you, what did you tell me?
You really gonna act like this in front of company? That's crazy. You see?
I'm not gonna blow it up. I'm not gonna put you on the spot like that. I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
Get a sign and they start controversy.
It's not about my sign. It's not about that. It's not about my sign.
Right.
You damn right. Yeah. Do you remember how we met back in the day?
Yes, it was in the club, right?
Yes. I want to see if your story matches my story.
God, well, I hope, like, I don't know. I do, but
I remember real quick is that I was in a club. It was my first time going to a club. It was for my 18th birthday. Probably wasn't on my birthday, but it was when I wiggled it till I was 18. Not like these other little hussies I was out when they were 16 with the fake IDs. But anyway,
I was one of the hussies. I was in the club at 15. Like I had to.
Wow,
be there,
not 15.
Yes.
But I was with 2 of my friends and one of my homegirls. I remember I was in a club. I had seen you and your friend grouped on the stage in Scorpio. And me and my friends was like talking or whatever. And I was like so green in the situation because I was like, I had never been out before. I just did not know anything that was going on. I do remember seeing you. And I was like, who is that? And then I remember my homegirl had like leaned over to me like in the middle, like throughout the night and was like, that guy's looking at you. And I was like, who? And then I was like, I don't know if he wants to fight me. I don't know if he wants to say, hey, I'm so new. I'm so scared. And yeah, but it was you. And then, and we had never spoke to each other. Like, it was like weeks would go by. I would keep seeing you in the club. I would either see you perform or I would just catch you at some point in the night and we would like smile, maybe wave. It just like gradually.
We were literally, I think that's how we like ended up like gravitating towards each other because we were both the two like awkward, quiet ones.
Yes.
Group. So,
and eventually, I remember like one night, I think a fight broke out, of course. Of course.
And I had to and you were like standing in the thick of it. And I had to like snatch your little ass up.
But yeah, I just remember like somebody like grabbing my hand, like pulling me to safety and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, you like saved my life.
Because you love the spice and you just like literally if you had popcorn and could sit there and watch that shit happen. Like, I'm talking about a front row seat, y'all.
I was like,
crazy.
wow. And I'm going to tell my kids this is how I met your father. But anyway, y'all. Anyway, I really do appreciate y'all for tuning into this episode. Please go and support my friend. Go support his music. I cannot wait for the Fingerprints visual. Any date on that, or you can't say yet?
It's soon.
It's soon. Okay, coming soon. Real soon.
It's real soon. Like,
all right.
Like, not SZA soon. Like,
oh God.
Like Beyonce soon.
Okay. Thank you for being here today, Gereme. I really appreciate you.
It's my honor.
Thank you guys again for watching and tuning into the You Damn Right podcast. This is Ronnie, reminding you to be brave, be creative, don't stop no matter what nobody says. Keep doing you. Be safe out there, and I will see you next time.
And make sure you brush all the white stuff off of your tongue.
Oh, wow. We're choosing violence on this episode. Okay.